Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Adam Burke from BangTheBook.com, coming to you with a look at the first round of the Western Conference playoffs. We'll take a look at some series prices here, give you some general thoughts on the first round in the Western Conference for the NBA. Speaking of series previews and series thoughts, over at BangTheBook.com, we'll have those from Admir Algic, Jonathan Willis, and Alan Moody here for the first round. They'll also be writing up game previews for us over there, so make sure you check that out. Also over at the website, My Daily MLB Picks, Parker Michaels' daily NHL picks. We've got soccer stuff, esports, NASCAR, golf, lots of things going on over there at BangTheBook.com. Make sure you check it all out. And on Mondays and Thursdays, make sure you tune in for the Bettors Box, my MLB betting podcast on Bang the Book Radio. You can listen to that right here on our YouTube page, or you can check it out on iTunes, Spotify, Spreaker, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, wherever it is you listen to podcast content. All right, so we take a look here at the first round in the Western Conference, beginning with the 8-versus-1 series. The Clippers take on the Warriors. Warriors a minus 15,000 favorite on the series price there at some sports books in the offshore marketplace. And look, I mean, as solid of a team as the Clippers are, as good of a coach as Doc Rivers is, they will not have enough in this series. It would be a massive, massive upset. The Warriors are not without problems, and they could run into some difficulty as they get into the Western Conference semifinals and also the Western Conference finals. But for here, I just think that, they'll obviously move on. It's just a matter of how many games it will take. Number 7, the San Antonio Spurs take on number 2, the Denver Nuggets here. Nuggets a minus 265 favorite, Spurs plus 225 on the comeback. And look, they're a very popular pick here for the Western Conference first round. You've got a big coaching advantage potentially between Greg Popovich and Mike Malone. Mike Malone has never coached in the NBA playoffs. Obviously, we all know what Pop is capable of once he gets his teams there. But I also think that maybe the coaching angle getting a little too much play here. I don't think people really realize how good this Denver team is, how fantastic they've been over the course of the season. They're top 10 in both offensive rating and defensive rating. They're finally healthy now. And when you look at the Spurs, they feel like something of an overachiever. They're certainly top-heavy with LaMarcus Aldridge and DeMar DeRozan, but they overachieved by 3 wins from a Pythagorean win-loss standpoint, only plus 1.7 in point differential. Look, they were first in three-point percentage, but 30th in three-point percentage of attempts, and then first in two-point percentage attempts, but 17th in two-point scoring. So you sort of wonder here for the Spurs, what their game plan is going to be in this series. You also wonder what Mike Malone's defensive game plan will be in this series with Denver. I've got to look at the Nuggets here. I know it's a little bit chalky at 265, good home court advantage both ways, but I think this is one of those situations where people are overvaluing Pop versus Malone, where Denver has, I think, the more balanced scoring attack and also the better defensive team. So take the Nuggets here in this one. Maybe the Nuggets lose game 1, and obviously then, we'd see an adjustment in this price. But I think Denver minus 265, actually a fairly decent number to take the better team here in this one. Thunder and the Trailblazers, the number 6 seeded Oklahoma City Thunder, a minus 160 favorite against Portland here in this one. And this is a really interesting series price to me because I understand that Portland has not been nearly as good without Jusuf Nurkic on the floor. They were plus 10.4 in net rating with him. They're minus 2.2 in net rating without him. And they've only played 25 more minutes without him. So we're talking about very similar sample sizes here for Portland without Nurkic on the floor. And, when you look at this series, I mean, it's Russ and PG versus McCollum and Lillard. And it's pretty simple. It's pretty cut and dry in that regard. The question is, which supporting cast will be better? And while I do think that better supporting cast is on the Oklahoma City side, why would you lay minus 160 with them when Portland was one of the top teams in the NBA at home, 32-9 on their home floor? They've got home court advantage for this series. So why not see if Portland wins game 1, then come back in on Oklahoma City at a little bit better of a number for the series going into game 2? That would be my approach here. I don't really see a reason to lay $1.60 with the Thunder. If they win game 1, so be it. You don't have a series price. But I think you would certainly look for Portland to win game 1, sustain that home court advantage that they've had. Then maybe at that point, you look at Oklahoma City at a plus price or maybe a very small minus 115 favorite, something like that. I certainly think that they would be on the plus side if Portland wins game 1. So Yeah, that's the way that I would approach this series. I do think Oklahoma City does advance because their supporting cast is a little bit better. But again, I think from a betting standpoint, from an equity standpoint, wait and see what happens with game one. See if Portland takes care of business in that one, then get a better price going into game two. Finally, in the Western Conference, the Jazz and the Rockets. Rockets a little better than a 3-1 favorite here. Jazz about plus 260 on the comeback. And, this Rockets team has definitely been different here since the All-Star break. They're 20-5 since the All-Star break. They were 33-24 before that. Everybody knows the rough start they got off to. Also, Chris Paul had the injury early on in the year. And they are a much different team with Chris Paul on the floor as the facilitator and the second scoring option to James Harden. Plus 8.1 net rating with him, plus 2.4 net rating without him. They've got him. He's in good form. James Harden's in great form. Tough matchup for the Jazz here. The Jazz are a very good defensive team. They've got that presence on the interior, but again, you got to wonder here, who can slow down James Harden? Do they have to force Donovan Mitchell on him, something like that? If they do that, how much does chasing Harden around affect Mitchell on the offensive end of the floor? I guess just a bad matchup for Utah. Wish they would have gotten somebody a little bit different in this series to see if they could make a little bit of a run. The Rockets should advance the minus 310. A little bit chalky of a price here, I think. But again, Houston should take care of business at home in the first two games, which means that we won't have a great price to take the Rockets at any point in time. So look for some series opportunities in the semifinals and the conference finals. But for now, I'm looking at the Warriors, the Nuggets, the Thunder, and the Rockets. A chalky first round here in the Western Conference. I'm Adam Burke for Bang the Book.